Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Love Fruit podcast, a podcast for people that are interested in raw vegan, fruitarian style diets and stuff like that. And today we've got another great guest, and that's Jeannette Donofrio, who is on Instagram at Miss Fit Vegan. I think it's ms.fitvegan, and also on YouTube as well. And Jeannette is also uh, been one of the managers at the Woodstock Fruit Festival over the last few years, specifically being the manager of the juice stand, or the, what do you call it, sugarcane juice stand, which is really popular, and has had quite an interesting career as far as from what I know already. And I think I'm right in saying that you were a director of training at a juice company or something like that. So we'll get into that in a bit. But thank you for joining us, Jeannette. And is there anything you would want to add to your little introduction?
No, that was a comprehensive resume. I'm a little scared. You know so much about me. No, that was perfect. Wow.
Excellent, thank you. So um, let's get back to the I guess the start. So were you brought up on a vegan diet or anything like that, or anything alternative, or how did you how did you start off growing up in terms of how you ate and everything?
Yeah, so I'm from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. I grew up on McDonald's, Skittles, M&Ms, all the good stuff, all the high GMO stuff. And when I was 26 years old, I saw Food Inc. documentary. And this documentary changed my life. It changed my career. It changed the trajectory of my entire existence. I dropped everything and I became, vegetarian. And then I went raw vegan and I left my job and I started a new career because of this documentary, Food Inc.
Who was in that film? I think I've heard of it.
Okay, so Food Inc. is a documentary mostly about where your food comes from and GMOs, but there's a little scene. There's one scene on animal cruelty. It's not even about animals, but there's one scene where a cow is so sick that she can't walk into the slaughterhouse and there's a crane pushing her. And I was just blown away. I had no idea that's where my food was coming from. I think it's Michael Pollan. I think it's Michael.
Sure, sure. Did that have any raw foodists in it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right, okay, okay, cool. So up to then, pretty much like a sort of a junk food and or basically everything diet. Did you have any health issues growing up?
A lot. Yeah. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. I also was overweight. I had severe cystic acne. I had psoriasis all over my body. I was extremely depressed. And I could never get enough sleep. I was always tired at 16 years old. So
Yeah,
from the age of 16 to the age of 26, I tried everything. I was trying different health modalities, probiotics, and like trying these different diets, cutting out carbs and sugar, and I was on Atkins, the Zone. I tried everything, and then I saw this movie, and I was like, oh, it's not about me. I can't support animal cruelty, so that's when my journey to real health started. My healing journey to health.
and what were the first changes you made at that point?
Yes. I saw the movie and for 3 days, I didn't know what to do. I was crying. I didn't know what to eat. I was eating peanut butter and jelly for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I didn't know. So I cut out all animal body parts, but I wasn't educated enough to cut out dairy yet. So I was still eating, milk and cheese and some fish because I thought I was going to die I didn't
Right.
know a vegan at all. This was 2010. So I thought I was going to die without a protein, from a protein deficiency. And I was eating that way. And then what happened was somebody introduced me to David Wolfe. So David Wolfe is the person that inspired me to try out the raw food thing. And once I tried that, I only tried it to clear up my skin. I had really bad acne my whole life. And I tried the raw food thing. And after a week, I was like, I'm never going back. It was like somebody woke me up. I was alive for the first time. And yeah, the energy and then my skin, of course, I lost a bunch of weight and I felt so much better. So yeah,
Was
that's
this all in Brooklyn? Were you still in Brooklyn at that time?
absolutely. Yep.
And what were you doing then? Were you studying or working, or what was going on in
Yeah,
your
so
life?
when I changed my life, when I saw my first vision of of animal cruelty. Okay, I was working in the audio industry, so I went to school for audio engineering, and I was working at Sony, and I had a part-time job at Avatar, which is one of the most famous recording studios in the world. John Lennon recorded there. I met Paul McCartney there. Beyonce records there. Everyone records there. And I had my, I was working at my dream studio, and I was having a great experience. And when I saw that film, I didn't care about music anymore. Nothing was important. So I quit my job and I started working at a health food store for $9 an hour. I quit my really good job. I started working at a health food store because I just wanted to know more about health and be surrounded by people that knew this lifestyle, health and vegetarianism and stuff like that. And so that is what I did. And that is what I would recommend to anyone who, number one, maybe can't afford to eat really healthy. Work at a health food store. You will get a great discount. You'll get, produce that's going bad. You'll get, free stuff. And then I would also recommend, if you want to know more, surround yourself with the people that are doing the things you want to do. So that's what I did. I just changed my entire career because I didn't care anymore about music. I still love music, but it's not my passion. I found my passion.
Are you sure it wasn't Paul McCartney that made you go vegetarian?
No, but I did get to show him my tattoo. I have a Let It Be tattoo, and
Oh wow.
I met Ringo too. So I met the two living
No way.
legends. Yeah, being
And
in New
that,
York, you meet everybody.
yeah, right. So how did you come across David Wolf? Your friend showed, was it like a book or something they showed you, or?
Yeah, so it was the manager of the health food store. Okay, he showed me a video, a YouTube video, and he was my mentor. It's really important that you have mentors. I'm sure you. Who is your mentor, Ronnie? I'm sure you have one.
Well, I followed Tim Van Orden, I followed Durian Rider, I followed Doug Graham, so a
Yes,
whole
yes,
bunch of
yes.
people, yeah.
So I had a mentor and he put me on to this living lifestyle, and I had never heard of this stuff. I actually worked at McDonald's when I was a kid. So I was like really not raised healthy at all. I didn't have an avocado or kale until I was 27 years old. I'm not, no, I never had an avocado. My
Yeah.
family, we didn't eat like that. We ate, we took care of ourselves. So I was a kid taking care of myself, making pasta every night and going, to fast food places.
Are
So
you
then
like Italian background?
Yes, yes. But, like we didn't, nobody in my family's healthy. Nobody's vegetarian. Nobody's vegan. We're just standard Americans. And so, yeah, I didn't have anyone. So thank God I did meet someone because I put myself in that environment. So I met my mentor and he put me onto the raw food lifestyle. And that was in 2010. And I never looked back.
Was it an independent health food store or was it like a chain?
Integral Yoga Natural Foods. So it was New York's only vegetarian health food store. I looked it up specifically. I wanted to work at a vegetarian health food store because I didn't know about veganism yet, but I didn't want to work around animal products. And so I found this one place, Integral Yoga. And unfortunately, they just closed because it's an independent health food store.
Oh, they just closed now?
They couldn't cut it. Yeah.
Yeah, because of COVID. Are you still in New York? No, you're not in New York right now.
No. So
Yeah.
for my first 9 years being a raw vegan, I lived in New York. And then last year, right before COVID, I moved to Miami.
Nice. So when you first started off, you were at the health food store. Did you were there like raw restaurants you went to or anything like that? And like how did you start trying out raw food and stuff?
Yeah, I started with the raw vegan gourmet. So Quintessence, which is no longer there. I think it's
Right.
called Love something raw. I don't know, but Quintessence was every day almost. Uh, like I would,
I've been there. It was a small place.
yes,
Yeah.
and they had some incredible stuff, raw vegan tostadas and
Mm.
burgers and everything. So I would go there. I worked at a health food store, so I had lots of options. Raw vegan gourmet stuff was the staple. I didn't know anything about fruit at the time, so I was eating, cashews for breakfast and raw vegan gourmet for lunch and raw vegan gourmet for dinner. That's how I started my raw food journey. Yeah,
Get a good experience? Like did your health improve just doing that?
absolutely, absolutely. I didn't see the full spectrum of my health um, experience until I started focusing on the fruit. Until I found Freely the Banana Girl and Durian Rider. And they really helped me, and Ted Carr too. They really helped me not be afraid of fruit because I was a raw vegan, but still afraid of fruit because that has too much sugar. I don't want to get cancer or anything like that.
How long were you doing it without being fruit based?
Um, I would say about a year. About a year. I was eating a lot of salad.
Yeah.
Uh, I was eating a lot of salad and a lot of nuts and a lot of seeds and dehydrated stuff and raw vegan gourmet. Yeah.
And were you and the your mentor at the store, was he a raw foodist as well?
No, he was one of those people that knows everything but doesn't do any of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I kind of had that as well, like a friend that was interested in raw but never really did it.
But I'm so grateful to him. I'm so grateful because he, was telling, he is like an educator. So he was educating every customer in the store, every employee, and I was ready for the truth. Me personally, I feel like you too. When I hear the truth, that I resonate with it and I go with it. I can't unknow something, and I
Yeah,
love learning truths. And so when he told me about raw food, and David Wolf, you know, was saying these words, and then what's that book that he has? Not the Sun Food Diet, but Nature's First Law.
nature's first law. Yeah.
This book, yeah, that's pretty much the book that changed my life. And then every chapter ends with "cooked food is poison," which is, I don't know I don't think that's true. But at the time, I was like, yes, cooked food is poison. Fuck that. Yeah.
Was there any like events or anything in New York or cool meetups or anything that was happening at the time?
Okay. For the first 5 or 6 years of my journey, I didn't know one raw vegan in real life. I didn't have any raw vegan friends at all. I never went to Woodstock. I was scared to go alone. And I'm very shy and introverted. So I did it all on my own, but with the help of course, my mentor and then YouTube. So YouTubers and online people. But I didn't know anything about events. I didn't know there was Fruit Lux or free
Mm.
weirdo stuff going on.
So you were just working in this health store for like years and working on your health, going raw, listening to David Wolf a little bit. Is that what was happening?
Yes. Well, I worked there for about a year. And then I started working at a raw vegan organic juice and smoothie place. And yeah, so I left that job and then I got a good job at a raw vegan smoothie place, Organic Avenue, which I worked there for 7 years. So that's when I really like started drinking green juice and getting really healthy and learning all about the different modalities of health. And yeah, I I never looked back.
And were you became like a director of training or something? Was that the company that you?
No, well, that's the company I became. I started as entry level, really like $9 an hour, 9.50 an hour. And then within a few months, I moved up to manager and then operations manager and then eventually CEO of the company within 7 years.
Wow, you're the CEO.
I was. And then unfortunately, we went out of business. We went bankrupt. And then I started working at our competition. Okay. So another raw vegan
So,
smoothie
but
place.
it wasn't your fault that they went out of business.
The rent was too high.
Oh, the rent. Oh, gee. Yeah, because I was thinking like,
Is a really horrible place to start a raw food business. The rent in New York is just absolutely ridiculous. And we paid our employees good amount of money, right? Because I know the value of the employees. Employees are everything. Employees are everything. So anyway, we went out of business. Then I started working at our competition. And yes, I was the head of training and development for 2 years. I love that job. That job was basically me just trying to convince new hires to go vegan. Okay. I would teach people how to make smoothies and juices, but my main job in my head was how many people can I inspire to go vegan every single day? So yeah.
interesting. So, you got any tips for anyone that wants to maybe try and have a career like that or get into a position like that? Like, what should they do?
Start at the bottom. Start at the bottom. Every single job I've ever done in the music business and every single job I've had, I always start at the bottom. Work your ass off. Work harder than anyone there. Work harder than the boss, and you will be the boss. Absolutely. Every single job I've ever done, I've worked my way up to being the boss.
I think the mistake I always made is I started at the bottom and I stayed at the bottom. So I didn't do that well in any place I was at. Anyway, That's really cool. I mean, that's really awesome that you were doing that. Director, so you were training what? Like what? Like just
Yep.
training people how to do their job, like how to make juices, smoothies, and all that stuff.
Um, we had 88 locations when I left last year.
That's
And
crazy.
I know
88.
88 locations, 60 in New York alone, and then all over the country, but 88 total. And what I would do is I would help hire the new hires, and then I would train them. And I would put them through smoothie training, smoothie bowl training, and product knowledge and veganism, and help them because I'm taking kids that never even heard the word organic. They don't know what organic means. A lot of kids thought vegan meant organic and organic meant vegan, so I'm training them on that and making them into professional smoothie makers in 3 days. It was so much fun. I love this job. The company was called Juice Press, and they still are around, and they're awesome, organic, high quality, really amazing raw vegan place in New York. And they have Washington. They have lots of locations.
How, this is quite interesting, right? So my imagination, if I'm trying to start a juice bar, like I had a friend who had a juice bar and then he closed it down, and I've been around a few things like that. And like, for example, I guess is it I mean, you have to charge quite a lot for the juice. Like, how does it all work, really? I mean, you need to have a lot of people, but you need to have a lot of staff as well, because there's a lot of manual labor in like making fresh juices, and then like that is quite hard to coordinate or
It's
not. What do you think?
insane. It's insane. So first of all, you have to have a commissary, okay? And we had so many employees at our commissary because we had one part of the kitchen just for washing, one part of the kitchen just for cutting, one part of the kitchen just for juicing, one part of the kitchen just for bottling it up. The bottles we used at Organic Avenue were glass. Okay, so that was another
Mm.
situation. But basically, you have to charge a lot of money. Okay, we were charging $13 a bottle for a 16-ounce green juice. Okay, we had a smoothie for $24. One of our smoothies were
Wow.
20.
What
Yeah,
was it? What did you have anything super expensive? Like,
I think the most expensive thing was $24 smoothie. It had like mangosteen, powder in it, and coconut
right,
meat,
right.
coconut water. New York, not the place for this. Personally, I will never open a business in New York again. I'm in Miami now. It's so much easier. It is unbelievable to live and to have a business where your food grows is so much cheaper. So I would recommend if you want a raw food business, you gotta go where the food grows.
You've got to sell a lot of juice to keep that going, right? So was it just juice that they sold? Did they have to have some
No,
soup?
we had everything. We had entrees, like raw vegan falafels. We had kelp noodles. We had the cookies, the all the raw, dehydrated stuff. We had everything. Smoothie bowls, fresh juices.
Could people sit in, or was it
Yep.
just takeaway? Oh,
Yep.
right, nice.
Yeah. I loved it. I mean, it was Organic Avenue specifically. This was an incredible time for me because I hired every single person in the company. I built the stores from the ground up at because we actually went on a business and then we came back. So I built the stores from the ground up. Every single employee was trained and hired by me. And it was just such an incredible family experience. And I'll never forget it. And I learned so much working there.
That's amazing. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I've never really heard you talk about that so much or post about it or anything.
Asked me. Yeah, you're the first person to ask me this stuff.
No, I just think like I'm always thinking about, okay, what's a template that people can take and then start their own place, or how do we make this work so that it can start to be used? But so I'm always interested in that, and I know that I've got this thing where like the city I live, there's no, in fact, the whole country I live in, basically, there's no raw vegan restaurant.
Wow.
There are some in England, a few, but I always think like they're missing the point. Like when people, sometimes people have started these restaurants, but then they start adding cooked food, they start adding coffee, they start adding all this other stuff, and I'm like, that's not that's not right. You're just becoming like everything else. Like that's not a good way of uh,
I totally agree with that.
standing
And
out.
that's I believe that's a big reason why we went out of business, Organic Avenue, because I had investors that were forcing us to, like, listen, the rent was crazy, so I understand the overhead was insane, but the investors I had, they were forcing us to, yeah, do coffee. They were forcing us to do some like cooked food, quinoa
Mhm.
salads and things like that, and vegan croissants and vegan muffins and stuff. They just wanted to appeal to everyone. And you know what? When you're in business, you cannot appeal to everyone. You have to stand for something, and the people will resonate with that. Your customers will resonate. People do not resonate with companies that stand for anything, like just, offer everything. They're like, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what you're offering. So yeah, that's a great, great point. And the other thing to, as far as success in business goes, is the people you surround yourself with. If you have good people, you will get through anything, and you will be able
Sure.
to have, the people are everything. Your employees, wow.
Did,
That's why I
did,
paid them so much, and that's why we went out of business.
did they do much marketing, or was it mostly like just people coming in off the street sort of thing, or how did they promote it?
Pretty much, we just organically grew, word of mouth. We didn't, yeah, I mean, we did some,
Hmm.
Facebook and YouTube marketing, but
Sure.
rarely.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I really think you should like write a story, a book about that or something. That should sounds really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll think
Or
about
do
it.
or make a presentation. I think people would love to hear more about
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
that. So you did that for years. You were really successful, and during that time as well, you went more towards the fruit-based thing. Is that right?
Yeah, when I found Durian Rider and Freely on YouTube, they are crazy, obviously, Durian Rider especially, but they really helped me not be afraid of fruit. So I'm trying to think what year. It was probably about um, 3 years or 4 years after I went raw vegan that I started really, really focusing on fruit, and started spending my life savings on, things like jackfruit and soursop and durian. And by the way, I just want to say, if you're living in New York City or any cold climate, you absolutely can eat amazing as long as you are a millionaire. You can eat all the amazing tropical food. You can order it online. You can go to, Chinatown or whatever, especially New York. There are no excuses in New York not to eat amazing. You do have to make money though. You do have to make a lot of money.
Yeah, and
That's just,
well, that's just buying stuff from Whole Foods as well. It seems like America's kind of more expensive. A lot of those shops are quite expensive for fruits and vegetables, like Whole Foods and those things
yeah. Well,
in
listen, if you
general.
want to enjoy the process and you want to be successful, you got to eat things you love. And there's two options. You either move or you spend a lot of money on fruit and vegetables. And that's what I did. I couldn't move. So I said, okay, I got to get a really good job. I got to make more money in my business so that I can afford, buying a jackfruit every day, eating durian every week, mangosteen. New York is just ridiculous. The quality of fruit that you can get.
Definitely, people don't think about that. Like they talk about how they, fruits or vegetables or exotic fruits at least are expensive. And I do always want to go back to them and say, well, just like that's a reason to make more money. Like that should be
Yeah,
like a lot.
right.
A lot of people never really see that as being the solution. Right? They just think, well, okay, I can't do that.
Right. Well, listen, it's all about mentality. Or if you're going to take the victim mentality, then you're going to be treated like a victim in society, right? And you're going to think, I can't do this. But anyone can take their situation and make it better, really. It's all up to us. And there's no problems, only solutions. That's a mentality that I use every single day. I say to myself, no problems, only solutions. What is the solution to this problem?
Yeah. So you're kind of into. I mean, you've posted a lot as well. Whenever I've followed you on Instagram, like you post a lot of personal development stuff, and it looks like you go to like conferences and events, and you're constantly trying to improve yourself and all that kind of thing. Has that always been a part of you?
No, not at all. When I was a kid, I never had goals. I was not raised to have goals. I was raised to survive. I was raised extremely poor. Really, really. I was raised very poor. I was actually raised in foster care in New York, and I didn't have any sense of like success. I didn't know anybody successful until, after I went vegetarian and then vegan. And then in 2000 Oh, when was it? Uh, I think around 17, just 2017. I started, I read The Compound Effect, okay, because of Ted Carr, one of Ted Carr's videos. And I'm so happy I got to meet Ted Carr at the Woodstock Fruit Festival and thank him because he put me on to The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And this is the first time I ever set a goal. I never had goals. I just worked. I never had personal goals. So that's when I started getting into personal development. And I absolutely I loved it. I took to it really quickly. It's just like the raw food thing, you know. I was like, oh, this is the truth. We can we can make ourselves successful by the things we do every day. You know, it's just the compound effect of our actions and our thoughts. And I used to go to a lot of conferences until the whole, mask thing. Um,
Yeah.
so hopefully that's going away one day.
Yeah. So yeah. So it all kind of came together. What is your goal at the moment? Like, what are you working towards?
Oh, yes. So my goal at the moment is to grow my online business, and it's also to grow my fruit catering business. So I have an exotic and tropical fruit catering business called Fruit is Life, and I'm really excited about it. And we're doing a wedding soon, so I'm really, really excited. And just the thought of going to an event or a wedding and having a display of tropical exotic fruit just
Oh,
really
nice.
makes me really excited. So yes, that's my goal at the moment.
Yeah. Do you think do you think that's a good option? Well, obviously it's a good option for you, but for other people like who are getting into the fruit thing and maybe want to create a business around it, what kind of ideas do you have around that or advice or
Mhm.
what are the good opportunities? Like, I guess people could try and start a store, but it's maybe difficult. I don't know, but what do you think?
Well, yeah. Listen, you got to do what you love. And if you don't know what you love to do, then right after this podcast, shut your phone off and spend some time alone and write down, just start journaling and just start writing things down that you truly love to do. What do you love to do? And then work from there. So if you love to, you know, talk to people, then yeah, maybe a store is for you. If you love to, do photography, then you got to go for that. Whatever you love, because you can fail at something you hate. So you might as well go for something you love because you could fail at both, right? And me personally, I love fruit. I love everything to do with fruit. I love taking photos of fruit. I love talking about fruit. I love designing fruit platters. So I was like, yeah, this is for me. Obviously, I should start my own fruit business. And I moved to Miami to start my own store. Okay, because that's where I was in the food and beverage industry for so long, so I know so much about that. But a week after I moved, COVID started. So kind of the market, yellow
Oh,
green
jeez.
market. I was gonna open in yellow green and they closed. So I kind of had to rework my vision. But yeah, so that's what I would recommend. Go for something you really love.
Hmm. Very cool. So let's get back to this sort of diet thing. So when you went on a more fruit-based diet, did you notice a difference between that and gourmet raw?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, first of all, my energy level did get better once I went raw vegan. But once I went fruit based, everything changed. Everything changed. I felt, first of all, my skin got so much better. Every single day, somebody compliments me on my skin, and it's really because of the diet. I tried everything before that. I tried Accutane, I tried all the face creams, I tried everything. But now, because I eat fruit, my skin is perfect. I never have to worry about breakouts or anything like that. So my skin, number one. Number two is my mental clarity.
Hmm.
I was still kind of had a brain fog thing when I was eating raw vegan gourmet. Okay, I wasn't able to
Yeah.
concentrate and focus. And when I would read, I wouldn't remember what I read. And now I'm really sharp. I think I tried to think that. And I can focus on one thing at a time now. And I'm not so scatterbrained. And yeah, just my mood. My mood is
Yeah.
much.
The emotional side of it, did you feel like some kind of emotional detox or whatever, or any of that stuff going on?
Uh, okay, going from the raw vegan gourmet to the fruit.
Or just any point, like any point?
Okay, so when I went from the standard, like the vegetarian diet, standard American diet to vegetarian, I saw a bit of change, in my mood. But when I went from eating like vegetarian to raw vegan, because I was never vegan, I went from vegetarian to raw vegan. Um, I really got sick. I got really, really sick. So I was coughing constantly. I had mucus. I couldn't sleep. I was so stuffed up. And so I was trying everything. I took oil of oregano. I took elderberry. I did all those natural things and it didn't help. And I was working at the health food store at the time and I was a cashier and nobody would come to my register because I don't know, they thought I had AIDS or something. I was coughing nonstop. I couldn't even talk. So basically, my mentor told me to go get a colonic. And I was like, absolutely not, bro. That's disgusting. I'm not into that stuff. Like, chill. And I was so sick that I had to because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't talk. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. I just had so much mucus. So I eventually broke down and got a colonic. And within 1 hour of that colonic, I stopped coughing. And I was coughing for like a month.
Wow.
Okay. Now I know it was detox symptoms and severe because I had eaten so bad for the first 26 years of my life. I'm talking about, Ronnie, I can't even tell you how bad I was eating. I would eat a pint of ice cream for dinner a lot of nights. Okay. I didn't
Yes.
cook. I didn't eat a salad ever. I was scared to eat anything green because that's weird stuff,
Yeah.
I was scared. So I ate so bad. So I had to deal with that. So I would not recommend anyone go raw vegan without getting a colonic. It saved my life. And don't wait till you get sick to get one. Saved my life. So then an hour after my first colonic, I stopped coughing. And then a week after, my skin completely healed. Like my skin, I saw a difference in my skin immediately. It was less oily. My acne started going away. The scars, took a while to fade, but wow, it was very powerful, my first colonic. And I also felt a huge emotional shift, right? I was very depressed my whole life. And then when I got the colonic, it was like the weight of the world was no longer on my shoulders. And of
Yeah.
course,
Wow.
I still have the same problems. I still have the same family, but everything feels very different now. I see it in a different light. I see it more positive. And I really, I think that was the diet and with the colonic. So, yes.
Awesome. Let's ask about, well, tell us about typical day for you on your diet. What do you eat? How much do you eat? When do you eat?
Okay, so I start my day with coconut water now because I live in the tropics now. I used to start it with at least uh, 1.5 liters of water. So I always drink water. Now I drink coconut water every day until noon. At noontime, I eat the juiciest fruit that I can find. So right now, I'm eating a lot of papayas with passion fruit. I love those for breakfast at noon. Or, in the summertime, of course, the watermelons and the melons and stuff. I used to eat grapes a lot, but for some reason, I cannot find organic grapes. And I don't know what's going on right now in the organic grape business, but whatever. I prefer things with seeds anyway. So that's what I'll eat for breakfast at noon. And then throughout the day, I'll have whatever fruit I have. I like to eat locally grown fruit now. I'm very blessed that I get that. So right now, what's in season? I'm eating a lot of black sapote during the day. I'm eating name sapote, sapodillas. What else do we have? Oh yeah, the dragon fruit. I'm eating a lot of dragon fruit, which is not local, but really good. And then for dinner every night, so fruit all day, and then for dinner, I really like a salad personally. I always crave something like more salty at night and savory. So I make a big salad. I put lots of mixed greens and romaine in there, and then I always make a really good dressing. It's all about the dressing. So that is what I do every day. And if I'm craving something more like sweet, I'll make a banana ice cream, something like that with bananas,
Mhm.
cacao, and peppermint oil,
Do
like
you eat
that.
much nuts and seeds?
Not at all. So I do not eat nuts and seeds at all, except I do sometimes for dressing, I will splurge and I'll make, a
Uh-huh.
cashew dressing
Yeah.
or, tahini. I have been eating a lot more tahini than I like to, but I got on this like tahini nutritional yeast lemon dressing that's really good. So I'm not eating too much of that because I do see a major difference in my energy level and in my weight when I have a lot of like these nuts and seeds based dressing.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel much better eating just, fruit based meals with like date based dressings.
So what would be your typical dressings then?
Well, right now, because
Or
I'm
is it
lazy.
secret or what?
No, it's not a secret.
You have a yeah, you actually have a recipe book, don't you?
I do. It's
Yeah.
100freerecipes.com, 100freerecipes.com, and it's 100 really easy raw vegan recipes with 5 ingredients or less. Because me personally, Ronnie, I don't know about you. Actually, I think you share the same thing as me. You don't like to be in the kitchen too much, right? I don't see you making too much raw vegan gourmet stuff.
Yeah, I've got very few videos or anything of me making anything, yeah.
I don't like to be in the kitchen. So my dressing right now, my go-to dressing is tahini, like already pre-made tahini. I like lemon juice in there, nutritional yeast, and a little bit of water. And I mix it up and it's really good. Listen, if I hate using the blender, but if I have to, I can make a really good dressing, with the garlic and the cashews and stuff.
So
But I,
but you're not talking about a big massive like you're dunking a huge dressing. You're talking about like a dressing as in this is quite a small amount and you just mix it around the whole thing.
yeah, no, it's not giant. It's a little
Right,
bit,
okay, okay.
fourth cup,
Yeah, because
maybe.
that sounds like an actual salad dressing rather than like a lot of people just do a big sauce.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like my salads like drenched in dressing. But
Mm,
listen, there's some great date-based dressings. Raw Food
sure.
Romance has the best book on dressings ever, so I highly recommend that. That really put me on to all the date-based ones you can make. And you will feel much better getting the nuts and seeds out of your diet, or just using them sparingly for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I'm a bit of a binge eater, I would say. So I would get like if I had food or whatever, if I would just wanted to make it as quick as possible. And
Mhm.
my salad for a long time was just two ingredients, was just like small tomatoes and lettuce, iceberg lettuce. That was it. That was my no dressing. That was my salad for like
Wait, how can you eat it with no dressing? That's
because
in-
this is called the Ronnie salad, right? So you bite. It's like we call them plum tomatoes. I think they're called grape tomatoes in the US, like small tomatoes. So you bite the tomato and then you take a leaf and then you eat them together, and then the tomato is the dressing.
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna try the Ronnie salad tonight because
So
I'm so lazy when it comes to food. I hate making dishes and then cleaning it up and just dealing with all that. I don't like it. So I'm gonna try the Ronnie salad tonight. It
it
sounds
is, yeah, it is
pretty
this.
boring, but I'm gonna try it.
It is the fundamental of salad. It's like tomatoes because a lot of salads have tomatoes in them,
Yes.
but and greens obviously.
I
But
don't, you know what? I want to try the mango dressings. Like I do that sometimes, the mango and dill, but I don't like to blend up things because then I have to
right,
do the dishes.
yeah, right.
So annoying.
But I
Okay.
would I would be like so if I was like when I was with my ex-girlfriend or whatever, when we went to the supermarket, I knew exactly what I was getting. I'm getting tomatoes and lettuces. I know exactly where they are, and I'm going to get this fruit or whatever. Whereas she wants to like look around and see things, and I could feel myself getting anxious. I'm like, I just want to go back and eat this. Like this is not. I don't want to have a whole journey of
That's not your
exploration of the
usual
shop. So
supermarket.
then we went back, and then we got back to the kitchen, and I'm like, I'm done. Mine's ready. Like let's eat now. And so I was. So I'm a bit, I need to like chill out a bit. But I'm starting to appreciate like the creativity in making stuff, it's and I'm starting to like learn about that. It's pretty cool actually.
Well, listen, not everyone can do the Ronnie salad every night for the rest of their lives. But what you want to do is you want to make it as easy as possible for yourself and as convenient because or else you're not going to be healthy. If it's hard to do, you're not going to do it. So that's why I made that book because I just put
Mm,
out all my favorite recipes that are really, really easy, really quick, and 5 ingredients or less because otherwise, if you try to make all these raw gourmet dishes that you see some people making and you get frustrated and you get annoyed, you're just going to go back to eating pizza or whatever, right?
yeah,
So
that used
find
to be
simple things you love and do
yeah.
those.
Yes, that used to be a thing a lot of people would say, like, I don't have time to do a raw food diet, like, because all the recipes are like 24 hours. You know, like, how long does it take this to prepare? 24 to 48 hours. And you're like, what the hell?
I have a dehydrator, Ronnie.
And you have to have like a big sprout garden in your kitchen and stuff like that. It's
I
like
used my
impossible.
dehydrator once. I bought my dehydrator in 2013. I've used it once to make kale chips because I was like, fuck this. I'm sorry if you can't curse on your podcast, but I just did.
I think it's
Literally,
okay.
I can't do that shit. I can't wait 48 hours for my dinner to be ready. This is insane. I have 5 minutes. That's what I have. So that's why fruit is so great. And I know you agree with this. Listen, if you have a black sapote, you are open it up, you have chocolate cake right there. Like what?
Mm.
Mame sapote too, watermelon, you cut it open, you're good to go. And you're healthy and it's good for the planet and it's convenient and you can go on with your life. You can work while you're eating. You know, like these whole, if you like to be in the kitchen, great for you. If you don't, you can still be extremely healthy and love what you're eating. You know, you got to get the high quality fruit though, because that's the key.
Yeah, yeah. You just got to be really enthusiastic about this and just see it as being fun. You know, I can imagine that it probably was challenging at times with your job in New York and different things, but it would have been but I can imagine you had fun doing it. You know, I just imagine that's the way that you approached it. And like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's like, you got going raw, you got to be a bit creative. You know, you got to try new things, you got to expand your palate and, you know, have fun.
Yeah, that's the key to life. That's the key to life
Yeah.
because if you're suffering through something, you'll never stay consistent enough to see the results. No way.
Yeah. So you were a scaredy cat and you didn't go to Woodstock for many years. And there's a lot of people out there that probably listen to this that are scaredy cats. And how do we get the scaredy cats to come to Woodstock and stop sitting at home watching YouTube videos?
Okay, so I would recommend volunteering for the Woodstock Fruit Festival to start because that's
Okay.
the only way that I could go. I really, really wanted to go, but nobody would go with me. I didn't know any raw vegans to go with me. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just work there. So I'll be comfortable. And you know what? Once you get there to any fruit festival, I'm sure, same with yours. Wow, you're met with so much love and so much acceptance, and nobody's judging you. And it's just such a beautiful place. And I tried to make my life the Woodstock
Yeah.
Fruit Festival. I've like
Yeah.
arranged my life to be the Woodstock Fruit Festival because
Mm,
like I just felt, wow, this is where I want to live. So that's where I live now. Every day is the
I
Woodstock.
know. I've been to Woodstock 8 times, and I was lucky that I made the decision to go when I did, and just kept on going after that. And like, I uh, I just can't imagine really a better place. And the fruit festivals, and obviously I can't really assess my own one, but people do enjoy the UK Fruit Fest. But um, as an attendee, I would actually say opposite. Like you say people should volunteer. I feel like people should attend first because I think they get the most out of it. But if they're more like your personality and they sort of have to be working and taking control of everything, then I guess maybe it is good to be a mom. I'm just making fun. I'm sorry, I'm just making fun.
You're a control freak, yeah. Okay. And then become a
No, they're
manager.
good. People have good experiences. People have good experiences doing both. To be
Okay.
fair, but
Yes, absolutely. You get
um,
more out of just going. Of course. I don't even get to experience the Woodstock Fruit Festival really because I'm working the whole time. Of course, you get more out of it and you connect with more
well,
people.
but you're already at the same time. If you're already that far along the journey, you don't maybe you feel you don't need to learn anything anymore. But the people that are starting off, I think, really need to get to the classes if they can, and
Yeah,
ask tons of questions.
and some better advice because you're right. That's not great advice. The better advice is start before you're ready. Go even if you're scared to go. Okay? Because everything is scary before you do it. And once you get there, you are going to be so, like Ronnie said. I mean, he's gone 8 times now, and he's met so many people and had such an amazing experience. But you know, if he would have not gone, he would have never. He probably I wouldn't be talking to him right now,
Yeah.
right? We'd be knowing all the people we know and having the knowledge that we have. So just go do it before, even if you're scared to do it anyway.
Thing about Woodstock as well, you never know if that event's coming to an end. You know, like a couple of years ago,
It's dramatic. It's so dramatic.
yeah, many years ago, they're like, "This is the last year." Then another year, they're like, "No, this is the last year," and then
It's like
it's
a
like,
TV show. and that keeps coming back. And literally, I just love it so much. It changed my life. It's really the reason I'm here in Miami. Honestly, I
Yeah.
met so many people there, and I don't even attend. I work there. So if I just one day I'll just attend. Probably not, but if I did just attend, I would probably meet so many more people and have such amazing connections and stuff. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
yeah, it depends if you can probably assess, or you're more like Jeanette's personality or mine, and I'm like, I wouldn't have got to be the CEO of a juice company by starting out at the bottom and all that stuff. Like, that's not, uh, I could, I would have not, I would have done the bare minimum or whatever. But
you would have been fired if you worked for me.
I love being an attendee, and I'm sure that people have went to Woodstock because of me promoting it and stuff like that. I've never made any money from that. I've never got a discount. I've never asked for a discount. I've never, like, nothing like that. And I don't get treated special or anything or whatever, even though I like know everyone there and all that. So, but I just always try and encourage people to go because it's such a great experience, and people are always like saying, "I'll go next year. I'll go next year. I'll go another time." And I'm like, "You're missing out. This is the best thing." Like, I can't get it across to people so much, and they've never been, so they just don't even understand it. It's like all your other experiences of life are life how it's not meant to be. This is life as it should be. This is actually you feeling what it
Absolutely.
should be like. It is totally amazing.
And,
So
my first year, I was terrified, terrified. And the people that run it, like Brittany and Connor, they do the volunteers. So they run the volunteer program. Wow, they changed my life, got me out of my comfort zone. And ever since then, now I do scary things just to know that I can do them. And Woodstock really started that journey. And you have a festival as well. I'm waiting to be invited to that, but I guess we'll talk about that
I think
offline.
if you come, you'll end up running the festival. So it's hard to.
Right,
I don't think I can afford your like hourly rate. So,
okay, touche. Yes.
but no, you're invited. Everyone's invited. Uh,
Everyone decided, no, I want to work there. I can't just go to festivals, Ronnie. I can't handle that.
yeah,
Trust
no, we can work. Definitely, you can work something out. We just need to
me. Putting people on the spot, right?
get you a visa or something. Anyway,
Yes.
so you're in Miami now.
Yes.
Miami, New York, differences, benefits. Is it all one way or what?
My life is a dream now. My life was always a dream, honestly, but now it's just a warmer dream. So listen, dude, if you are into health, you've got to move to a warm climate. I'm sorry. 9 years I lived as a raw vegan in New York, and I've lived here almost a year now. Oh my God, the difference is ridiculous. I'm sleeping so much better.
Mm.
Like, I
Why
know
why do you think your sleep's better? Why do you think your sleep's better?
I'm getting vitamin D for the first time in my
Right.
life.
Okay.
And then I go to the beach every morning for the first time in my life. I get to go in the ocean every single day, all year, 365 days a year. I go every day. The fruit that I'm eating is so much better, so much higher quality, locally grown. Um, I honest and just New York, it's not for people that are into health. It is absolutely not. These big cities with all this pollution and this really toxic energy. I mean, honestly, you can be a toxic person wherever you go. So I'm sure there's many
Yeah.
toxic people in Miami, but wow, the way of life here is so different, and I love it. I'm never going back to New York or any cold climate ever again, ever.
Mm. I also think that maybe the sunlight being more constant is good for sleep, for because
Oh,
your circadian rhythms and stuff.
yes, good point. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I never experienced that in New
And
York.
and the brightness of the light. Like, I remember being in not quite near Miami, Hollywood, which I think is north of Miami.
Yes.
Staying with some friends from Woodstock, and they and I just remember how bright the light was compared to other places, and I slept amazing then as well. Like, and I always think about that. Like, is that the solution to better sleep for a lot of people?
The solution to all your problems is to move to Miami. That's what I would say.
But Miami's is that Miami not expensive too, but not as expensive as New York or what?
Depends on where you live. I live in a very expensive place, of course. But that's the thing. The thing is, you choose your lifestyle that you want, and then you do what you have to do to make the money to afford it. Okay, because you can absolutely live for very cheap in Miami. I know people that are
Uh-huh.
paying $500 rent a month, and I know people that are paying thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, listen, wherever you want to live, you can. You can live at any. I know people that are living in their car here, not paying anything, like in their van. So, and
Yeah, I've been to Miami. I can't remember. I've really, yeah, I went years ago to a meditation thing actually, randomly, uh, in Miami, and I remember going to the beach, and there was some guys in the beach that I met, and if there's these guys that basically that's what they did. They worked during the week, Monday to Friday. Then the weekend they just went to the beach with like a seat and their like cooler of beer, and that's all they did. They just sat at the beach like the whole day. And I was like, that's the Miami lifestyle.
I don't do that. I don't. I personally don't have that personality. So I go to the beach every morning. I swim in the ocean. I do my workout, and then I leave. I don't. I can't be at the beach all day. That's not me. Like
Yeah, I'm not.
what to do at the beach personally.
So
But
you call yourself Misfit Vegan in terms of your channel, and so is fitness important to you, and what's your take on all that?
great question. When I started that about 4 years ago, I was in school to be a trainer. Okay, so I signed up for school to be a certified personal trainer. Okay, because I always wanted, it was really because I always wanted to be in shape. So I figured, okay, if I go to school for it and I help other people be in shape, then I'll get in shape. It didn't work. I dropped out. I can't do it. I don't have a passion for exercise science. But the name stuck because I really am like a misfit in my eyes because I don't know too many people. Oh, there's like somebody trying to join. Um,
Right.
I don't know too many people that are living the life that I'm living. So misfit vegan is yeah, it's about fitness because I'm still trying to get in shape and get my dream body, but it's also about just being a weirdo and like celebrating that. You don't have to be like everyone else to have a really fun time. You know, you can inspire other people to do what you're doing. You know, I can't even tell you how many people I've inspired to eat more fruit and go vegan. You know,
So
hundreds,
yeah,
hundreds.
you didn't grow up doing sports and things like that.
Not at all. Not at all. And I didn't even work out until a few years ago because I was working my whole life. I never worked out, even as a raw vegan. I never was into fitness. I never did anything until a few years ago. I got into yoga. And then I started, you know, working out, personal trainer. And I tried doing things that I don't enjoy. I know you're into fitness. So this is a
No, I'm
cool
starting. No, I'm starting to get into fitness.
starting. You're
So
starting.
I'm trying to learn from you here.
So so here's my mistake that I made. I was like, I'm gonna get in shape. I joined like a really expensive gym. I got a really expensive personal trainer, and he had me on all these, you know, machines and doing all these crunches and all these things that I hated. And then, of course, I didn't stick with it because I didn't like it. You gotta find what you love. You gotta find the foods that you love and eat those foods. You gotta find the exercise that you love and prioritize doing that exercise. So now what I do, which is really working for me, I go to the beach every morning. I ride my bike. Well, the beach is across the street, but I ride my bike to another part of the beach. I get off my bike, I run, I go swimming, I run back to my bike, I get on my bike, I come back. Okay. That's what I love. I love that. I have a yoga practice as well. I really love yoga, but I don't do anything that I don't love to do. Okay. I
Right.
personally I have a little watermelon like workout routine that I do that I love. Yeah, I mean, I run sometimes, like sprint. What do I do? Oh, rollerblade sometimes, but bike riding and yoga, these are my two main things, and swimming. And I'm never ever going to do exercise again that I don't like because I will never stick with it long enough to see the results. You're
Mhm.
wasting your time. So what are you doing, Ronnie?
I do 15-minute hit workouts.
Dope.
That's all I've like. That's basically all I've been doing. For years I was because I've been around Doug Graham a lot, and I mean, he's all about raw food, but he's all about fitness. He's like, you can't be truly healthy unless you're fit.
Correct.
So he's always challenging people and saying like, what are you doing to get stronger? What are you doing? And I was always not really that focused. I wanted to get fitter, but I couldn't get into routine. And we'd go to the gym now and then and everything. And I'd let my fitness like fall apart so much because when I was younger, I used to do sit-ups and press-ups and sports. But I got into like meditation, I got into stuff like that, and I kind of let all that go a little bit. And then later on, I was like, I should get back to this. So I've tried on and off quite a lot. And then I don't know, just before Christmas or just before the new year, I just started doing 15-minute HIIT workouts. There's a guy in the UK called Joe Wicks that has these workouts on YouTube. So I just started finding those and doing them. And I was like, well, that's not too bad. And I just thought, right, I'll try and keep going for like a month. So the whole of January, I've done one every day. And and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm seeing the difference, and I'm feeling the difference. And like I love, like, because I would literally walk up a flight of stairs and I would feel pain. That was how unfit I was. I would walk up stairs, and this is going back years. This is not, to be my raw vegan diet, but so I didn't have like good strength or whatever. I'm not sure what I'd be better at. Like maybe I'm more of a long distance thing, because one of my stories that people find a bit weird is that I I never really ran or did training, but at Woodstock we did a marathon and I ran 22 miles without training on
Okay, David Goggins.
on fruit, right? And then recovered the next day, no pains, no anything. And I was like, this
Whoa.
diet's amazing. Um, and
Is that the
but
diet?
I'm really excited. No, well, I was also very like I was running really slow. I was taking care of myself. I wasn't being silly. I wasn't like I don't know how David got like talking about David Goggins. Like I don't know how you like break your legs and then keep running or whatever. Like the story is. But
Mental
uh,
or
yeah,
emotional.
yeah, sure. So, but no, I'm excited about it, and I'm kind of looking for heroes to follow. You know what I mean? Because like
Like me,
But
yeah.
yeah, well, but the same thing. Like, if you go raw vegan, you find people that are doing it. Like and you look towards them, you get their advice. So, I see different influencers online, but I'm like, these guys are all too big. Like, a lot of them are. I don't really want that physique. I don't want to look like a bodybuilder or even like half that. So, I'm looking for guys that are fit, that kind of maybe look or have the are in shape the way that I want to be. I don't know, but that's what I'm starting. I'm slowly starting off with HIIT workouts, and then I'll see what I can do from there. Keep
That's
on
the key.
challenging myself.
That's the key to life, isn't it? Finding someone who's doing what you want to do or look the way you want to look and do what they do. Ask them their advice, you know? That's the key. We sometimes we think we have to figure out everything on our own.
Mm,
People have figured out things, utilize that. Read books, watch their YouTube, connect with them on Instagram. It's so easy now to connect to people. Ask them what they're doing because we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah.
the same. It's the same process with everything, right? So like when when you get into all the personal development stuff, it's like the same thing over and over, because it's basically it all comes down to if something in your life's not working out the way you want, you have to change your habits. Firstly, you need to accept it's you that's got to change, and you need to change your habits and your actions and all that. And that starts off with changing your mindset and what you see and what you believe about yourself. So there's all that kind of visualization, writing down goals, writing down intentions. Like that's with everything. It works with diet, it works with
Yes.
money or whatever, it works with relationships, it works with like it's everything. And I remember a guy, I was listening to a thing and the guy said pick a champion. So his whole thing was like, you got to have a dream, you've got all this kind of stuff. And then one of his principles was like pick a champion, and by which he meant find a person that's going to be the person that you want to be like
Oh,
and follow them. And I realized like that's an important key in everything. Um,
yeah.
so
So pick someone to be your mentor. It can be
yeah,
digitally.
essentially the same thing as like mentor or whatever. He just used the word champion, like
Yes.
basically,
That
yeah.
yeah, that's what I do. I just model people like that. But also I like to pick a alter ego. So Misfit Vegan is my alter ego. She's really fit, which I am not. She has abs, which I do not. And she like goes to fruit festivals and does podcasts, and that is my alter ego. So like I'm just trying to be her, and
But
that's
but that's cool as well, because it's like bringing out a part of yourself that you haven't fully developed yet, and but you're just like it's yeah. So do you believe that like it all starts in the mind? It starts with beliefs, with what you visualize, what you dream, all that kind of stuff, or where do you think?
absolutely. If you think something's going to be hard, it will absolutely be hard. If you think something's going to be easy, it might not be super easy, but it will be easier than if you think it's hard. Okay. These old adages, they're very true. You know, he who says he can, okay, he who says he can't, right?
Yeah,
Both right.
yeah,
We all know this, and you know, some people think it's like airy fairy stuff, but if you break it down, whatever you're focusing on in your life right now is what you're getting out of it. So if you know, think of somebody you know who's really positive.
hmm,
They're probably having a better life and a better experience here on earth than somebody you can think of who's always complaining. That's
yeah,
because the person who's positive is focusing on what they can do, the positive things that the changes they can make, and the negative person is just playing the victim and complaining. And listen, no successful people complain. Okay? I heard Gary Vee say that once. And so every time I start complaining, um, I'm like, wait, I want to be successful. So why am I complaining? You know, I do a lot of things that I don't want to do sometimes to just prove that I can do them or just to push myself. Okay. And I'm like, if I ever think about complaining about them, I'm like, wait, I don't have to do this. Okay.
yeah,
Just know that you don't have to do anything. You can choose to be healthier. You can choose to work out. I mean, it's easier if you choose to work out at something, you know, that you enjoy, but you're not, even if you enjoy it, Ronnie, right?
yeah,
Say you enjoy these 15 minutes, you don't always feel like doing this 50 minutes. You're
yeah,
not always going to feel, I don't always feel like going to the beach, even though I love it, but sometimes I just want to stay in bed, right?
yeah.
Um,
But I think that's the great thing about everything health related is it's always a choice. Like it's a choice to eat fruit. That you're never going to be addicted to fruit. Like it's not going to be like you wake up and you can't help yourself but eat bananas. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to feel like that. With exercise, I guess, and what inspires me, one of the things that actually got me started with exercise again was that I would speak to some of my friends who are super fit, and they would say sometimes I don't feel like exercising, sometimes I don't enjoy it, sometimes I feel tired, and I'm like,
they do
I
it
thought
anyway.
I thought you guys would have always felt
Yep.
amazing and like
Same thing happened to me. Like David Goggins, he's one of my biggest mentors. I read his book over 10 times. I listened to the audio maybe 20 times. And the thing is that he's David Goggins and he doesn't feel like it doing it most days, but he does it anyway. That's the key. You do it anyway. It's just like going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival. You know, you might be scared. You might, you know, be like nervous to go by yourself. You don't know anyone. Do it anyway.
yeah,
All the things that you want to do in life that you're scared to do, if you do them anyway, you will you'll have leaps and bounds in your life that you will never imagine. So you will.
yeah. And you definitely, I think what you were saying as well, the can-do attitude. Like a lot of people might say, with Woodstock, they've never traveled, they don't have the money, this and that. Like people say they don't have the money about almost everything, right? So they're spending money on something, they must be. But like, go to the woodstockfruitfestival.com, go to register, put your name in, put your stuff in, put your thing, and then put your someone else's credit card in, and then like just do it.
Ronnie's credit
Like
card.
just one at a time, but figure it out. Like, and the money thing, like, even if that's legitimately true, you don't have the money. Just how can you have them? How can I get the money? Just change this.
Be
Change.
resourceful. That's the problem with our. That's the problem with our society or my generation. You're a little older, I think. Wait, how old are you?
No, I'm older than you. I'm 36.
Oh, I'm about to be 36. Oh, so we're the same generation, right? So I just look so much younger. So basically,
Oh
in
my God.
my generation, our generation is so entitled. Personally, I believe that we've lost our sense of resourcefulness. We think we're
Yeah.
entitled to everything, and we are absolutely not. You are only entitled to what you work for, and even then, you might not get it, right? So, what I would recommend is if you want to change your life, write down all the ways that you can change your life. not all the ways you wish you could change your life. What can you do? Because there's something you can do. You're not doing it. And maybe it's that's reaching out to somebody or volunteering, if you can't attend or whatever it is, right? There's no excuses. And, the whole money thing, like people spending money on listen, yesterday I sell fruit at a farmer's market every Saturday. And there was this woman, she obviously had a lot of money, and I was selling star fruit, and I was selling it for $5 each. Okay. They're really big, like organic, locally grown, amazing star fruit. And she was like, what? $5 for a star fruit? And she couldn't like wrap her mind around it. And she's carrying like a $10,000 bag. And her
Yeah.
outfit is probably like thousands of dollars. And in my head, I'm just like, lady, you don't even understand. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. You might as well pay now. Your cells are made up of what you eat, and you don't even care. And I want to say this stuff, but I was too
Oh, I
tired.
thought you did say that, sure. I thought you
No,
were.
I said it in my head. It was just the end of the day, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. But usually I do say it because I work for myself now, so I can say whatever I want. That's the other thing, guys. You got to work for yourself.
Yeah,
So many years,
yeah.
I worked for other people, and I was happy and I loved it, but I could never say exactly what I wanted to say. And now I can. And what I really just want to say is, listen, your priorities are wrong, lady. Your priorities.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny as well? Sometimes just reframing it, right? Because like I have conversations with people about coming to the festival, and they'll like say they ask how much it is or whatever. And I tell them the price, and they're like, if they say if they feel it's expensive or more than they want to spend or whatever, and literally just by saying, well, have you ever spent that on a holiday? And they go, yeah. And then they go, oh, yeah. It's like they don't even think about it. They don't realize it's the same thing. It's going to be a better holiday. There's going to be much more involved. You're going to meet so many more people, such a
Yeah.
more fulfilling experience. The people that are going from, uh, they're going on a holiday somewhere else instead of Woodstock. It's like, okay,
Perspective is
I just
everything.
don't understand. Like, and that actually, that's what someone said to me, because it's crazy, right? Because there was a woman talking to me. Her daughter was sick. The only thing that ever worked for her was going raw vegan. And I'm like, okay, great. And then they said, oh yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to afford this festival, or whatever. And I said, well, have you ever, same question, have you ever spent that kind of money on a trip or a holiday? She said, oh yeah, last year we spent £5,000 going to Australia or something. But that's Australia. And I'm like, but your daughter's sick. Like, isn't that way more important? Like, why is Australia? Like,
Priority
it's just,
and
it's, yeah, it's so crazy. But
yeah,
um,
I just same thing. I just have to say before we leave this topic, your priorities will determine your future. So, $5 for a piece of fruit. Well, how much do you spend on an alcoholic drink on average? You know what I mean? Like, this is such a joke. We have our priorities wrong. I have always known because I had, a mentor, and I got the knowledge of raw foodism and fruit, the power of fruit, and how valuable it is, how every single cell in my body is made up of what I eat. So, of course, I'm going to spend the most money on what I eat.
yeah,
Why wouldn't I?
yeah,
I don't. Some people think they just eat it and they poop it out, and that's actually not what happens. Our cells are made up of that stuff. So spend the most money on that because that is your DNA. If you want to have kids, that's your kid's DNA. And you know what I mean?
yeah,
This is so ridiculous. We have our priorities wrong, but you know what? When you know better, you can do better. So that's what I did. That's what you did, and that's what everyone listening
yeah.
can do as well.
Definitely in the US, there's an immediately easy argument to make for someone going to Woodstock or eating a raw vegan diet, even if it was $500, or like even if it was $1,000 a month to buy fruit for whatever it might be in some places, like, because um, with the medication, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, supplements. I mean, people spend
Time off work.
crazy money on supplements, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
like, it's totally worthless. In
totally.
my opinion, totally worthless product. Um, and and then like all the stuff that people do to look healthy or come across healthy, like uh, operations on their face, like, what do you call them, like
Oh, like
facelifts, and
collagen
like,
and inject
yeah,
both.
injections, just because their skin looks terrible, probably, or you know. So that's thousands and thousands of dollars people spend on things like that. I made up a bit of a presentation when I went through all these things. Like, look at all these expenses that people spend, and then like if people have to lose weight, that's like weight loss. But then that's not even a fraction of the cost of the opportunity cost of being unhealthy. Like if
Mm.
someone is unhealthy and if you're living a life of brain fog, like you're saying, like there's so many things you're missing out on. It's unbelievable. So
You're not even ever reaching your full potential, and you're not living a great life. And I would love to see that presentation.
yeah, and then the ethics, and then the environmental impact. It's like there's just no, okay, fruit is more expensive than eating junk food. Maybe it's not even that. Actually, it's not even that much more expensive. If you really look at it, it's not really that much more. I know some people that do spend a lot because they just buy like small packets of fruit and they buy like 20 of them and all that every day and stuff. So people do crazy things, but yeah,
Yeah, but everyone always acts, you know what's crazy? Everyone always acts like meat and dairy and junk food is free. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is not free. This stuff costs money too. You go into a restaurant, you spend $100 easy on two
yeah,
people.
yeah,
And like everyone acts like that stuff is free. And then fruit, $5 for a piece of fruit. Oh my God, stop.
yeah. I
So
just
silly.
like to, yeah, I like to like if if I was selling star fruits for $5 or whatever, and the lady comes up and says that, I would just be like, of course it's $5. Like that's a bargain. Like that's a discount.
Oh,
Like
yeah, no, I
a
mean, just
star
the
fruit.
best stuff on earth. And it tastes amazing. Like literally,
This is what. Yeah.
I sold her two, but her husband wanted six. And she was, it's funny. She was like, what? You want to spend $30 on fruit, on star fruit?
Yeah.
But I sold her two. But yeah, no, people are funny. People are funny. Humans are funny, I would say. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But it's kind of like when you've been raw so long, you've really seen the light and you forget what it's like
Yeah,
to not understand all this stuff, and people just don't, they just don't get it. And
absolutely.
and like this year with the coronavirus, right? It's been the annoying thing is that usually if you're healthy and everyone else is doing stuff making them sick, it really only impacts them. And it's a shame, but it's their own choice. And you can try and help them, but they probably won't listen and all and everything. But it
Yeah.
doesn't affect you living your life. And this is the first time that like everyone's been affected. Maybe not so much in Miami because I think Florida does its own thing, but everyone's been affected by this idea that basically I think because of ignorance, people are so ignorant about health and they get so scared they're actually listening to like a government that's changing its mind all the time as to what's actually meant to be happening or not, and they're scared of like a flu virus. And it's just what's it been like in Miami this year? Has it been kind of normal or?
Well, I don't really live in the real world, Ronnie. So, me personally, I had the best year of my life in 2020. It was the best year of my life. But in the real world here in Miami, let's see, I have to wear a mask when I go into Whole Foods. And that's pretty much the only time I wear a mask personally. Um, at the farmer's market, I'm so lucky and grateful that I found a farmer's market that doesn't require masks for
All right.
vendors outside, of course, right? So it doesn't require masks for vendors or customers. However, a few weeks ago, somebody did come up to me and they said, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" And I was like, because I want to be healthy. Because if you wear a mask, there's been many studies, you are
Yeah.
much more likely to get sick. Okay. So I listen to the science, not the mainstream media. Okay. Science says if you wear a mask, they've done many studies where you're 10 times more likely to become sick because you're just breathing in your own bacteria and you're
Yeah.
not getting fresh air and your immune system goes down when you wear that mask. So listen, if you have to wear it, you have to wear it. But we all don't have to wear it. We're just doing it because they tell us to.
Yeah, stupid. Like the idea that your respiratory system isn't evolved to protect you from things like that the best way it can
Oh,
is
yeah.
silly. It's just all bizarre, but yeah, I
Dude,
don't know.
it's so sad what's going on right now. I even know healthy like vegans that are worried and wearing a mask all the time. And like it's all about your immune system. Okay, we know that this is
Yeah.
like basic 101 health. If you have a strong immune system, then you can get any disease and fight it off. And
Yeah.
we all know every disease known to man starts in the colon. So if you're worried about, COVID or anything, you should focus on what is in your colon, right? You should focus on what you're eating. You should focus on your elimination. You should focus on your health and wellness, not a mask. And you heard they're talking about like putting on more masks, like the 4-layer masks are better than the 1 layer. I try to stay away from all of that. I just randomly see sometimes some stuff on Instagram and I just unfollow as soon as I see something stupid.
Yeah, even people that have gone to Woodstock. And I'm like, okay, did you learn nothing? Like, did you not learn a single thing at this entire event? And the truth is they didn't. Like people do come along and not really take it in. You're like, this is not even the mask thing is just stupid. It's just
It's
been dumb from the start.
impossible it's impossible to teach somebody something if they don't want to learn it. So I've just given up trying to help people that don't want my help. If you want my help, message me, email me, comment on something. I will help you. I would love to help you. But if you don't want my help, I'm not going to seek you out because I can't do it anymore. I don't have the patience, you know? I'll
Yeah.
only help people that want to be helped.
Yeah. So how can people like follow you or reach you or learn more about you?
Yeah, so I would love if you connected with me on Instagram. I live on Instagram, miss.fitvegan. I also have a YouTube channel, Miss Fit Vegan, miss.fitvegan. I have a few websites. One is fruitislife.store, where I sell really cute fruity merchandise, like fruity shirts and stuff. And I also have my website 100freerecipes.com, which is my new recipe book. And how else? I'm on Facebook too, Misfit Vegan. And yeah, I will be at the UK. I will be running the UK Fruit Festival this year, so I'm really excited. We can connect there. And I'll be at Woodstock every single year that they do it because I love Woodstock so much. Changed my life, so we can connect there. Yeah.
Awesome. So what would be your kind of, I think we've already kind of talked about this. Okay, here's a good question. What do you think are the mistakes you see people make or information that you see that's being taught out there that's not right or that you think's not right in terms of in the natural health raw vegan world?
I like how you finally have a good question. Yes. So, so no, because you said it. But wait, what are some things that people are saying that are not
Mistakes, yeah, so like the mistakes people make and the bad information
in the
and
raw
from
vegan?
yeah, yeah,
So many, so many. We're taking the so like mainstream media, we take the things on mainstream and then we try to put it in the raw vegan world, and it's just so stupid. For example, raw vegans worrying about how much, vitamin, uh, you know, B3 they get or
yeah,
protein they get or whatever. We're taking the standard way of thinking and applying it to something that is absolutely not standard. I don't know how many raw vegans there are in the world, but maybe less than 1%, right? And
right.
so let's stop that because it doesn't make any sense. The vegan community is another one. Like just being vegan and taking protein powder, you can't be serious. I think personally, this is my personal opinion, this is the dumbest thing in the world to take protein powder if you're trying to get more protein or you're trying to be healthy, because we know as vegans, we don't need protein. We don't need a lot of protein. So why are we taking protein powder? You clearly
Yeah,
don't know that yet, right? It's getting in the way of the real nutrition. So every single thing on earth has protein in it, or else it wouldn't exist. So let's just stop with that. That's just the number one thing.
yeah,
The B12 thing, okay, I would recommend, a lot of people are saying you should just take supplements to be careful, just to be careful. Okay, personally, I get my blood test done every year. And if I am ever deficient in something, then I will take a supplement. Okay, so I wouldn't personally take supplements unless you're deficient. And if I'm deficient, I'm going to find the best natural sources of it. Like I'll have more sprouts, I'll have more nutritional yeast or whatever. I'm not really into supplements at all because anything on a shelf is dead.
do you know, can I just say the other thing about that I just thought recently, because I don't take supplements either, but I'm the same as you. Like if I had to, I would. I'm not against it, but people go on about it, and we've seen people teach about it and get kind of scare people about it. And I'm like, I've just realized recently, even if someone gets a deficiency, it's the easiest thing for them to deal with. Like, it's not some terrible thing that's incurable. If they do have that, they can cure it really quickly, really easy. So why even worry? Like, what? Just tell people to, like what you're saying, like get a blood test now and again, and if you're okay, you're fine.
It's all about profit. A lot of people are online making a business, making a living, and I understand it. I get it. But I personally have the freedom to say whatever I want because I don't sell supplements, right? So personally, I don't believe in them and I don't recommend them to people that I coach unless you have a deficiency, because the best way to get a deficiency is to take supplements. And then your body doesn't know what to do with these supplements. It's not natural and it causes all types of problems in the body. Let's not put anything in our body that our body doesn't know what it is, right? Our body knows exactly what an apple is. And there's so many vitamins and minerals and nutrients in that apple that it will take care of you. Okay. If you eat natural, you will be healthy. That is just the way it works. And this is from somebody who was eating a standard American diet and taking vitamins and taking supplements my whole life. Okay. Not my whole life. Let's say from 16 to 26. That's the chunk of life that I was like trying to be healthy, trying to cure my problems, and trying to get rid of my chronic fatigue. And I was always sick. Every year, Ronnie, I went to the hospital because I had bronchitis or I had the flu or taking
Yeah.
antibiotics. I was always sick and I was taking all these supplements and I was sick. And now I haven't taken supplements in 10 years. I don't do any type of protein powders. I don't do any type of sprays or anything like that. And I get a blood test every year and I'm perfectly healthy. And if you're not, then you're doing something wrong. Something is wrong. And I don't think it's the lack of the supplement,
Yeah.
because supplements are there to make money. Fruit and vegetables, that's why I trust nature. I don't trust humans. Okay. I don't trust man. Because nature it's not trying to make money. It's just trying to provide for us, you
Yeah.
know? So that's what I say on that. That's the number
And
one.
yeah, and nature provides, like, the model of nature is totally different because it provides things abundantly. Like a tree doesn't give you 5 apples, it gives you like 500 apples on one tree. It's like
Yes,
a
you can't
total
even eat that
abundance.
amount. Yes. And the other thing that I wanted to say was that I didn't know you do have to exercise to be healthy. I didn't know this when I first went raw, and I was living, I think it was like 5 or 6 years until, or maybe more, 7 years until I started working out, because I thought, okay, I'm just going to eat fruit and I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to have my dream body. I'm going to be, I'm just going to be super fit and energetic. And the truth is that we need to move our lymphatic systems to be healthy. We can't just eat
Mm.
fruit. We can't just eat and sit on the couch all day and never like do deep breathing. And the point of exercise is to get in the oxygen that helps our body, drain the lymphatic system. So I would highly recommend you find some type of exercise that you love if you want to be healthy, if you want to lose weight. Because I lost a little bit of weight, but I wasn't one of these very skinny raw vegans. I don't have that genetics, and so now I'm much better and fitter, and when I stay consistent with a routine of exercise every single day.
Yeah, but let's get it in perspective. You're slim, like you're not overweight at all.
Yeah,
Like,
now compared to what I was, absolutely. But a lot of people think if they just eat raw foods, they'll be so fit and so skinny, and it doesn't really work like that for some of us. I have to exercise, or else I
yeah.
can gain weight. Absolutely, eating avocados, eating if I eat raw vegan gourmet stuff, absolutely. You know.
We kind of agree a little bit on, there's just maybe to finish off, but
Mhm.
the dates. You used to have a lot of dates. I used to eat a lot of dates, and I think I probably had more teeth problems than you've had, but you've had a little bit. And we had a conversation about it, and you tried not eating dates, and I think you said it worked. Do you think that's what it was? Like the dates are a problem with the teeth?
Yeah. So you actually changed my life. I forgot about that. I'm glad I'm on this podcast. So you changed my life because 2 years ago, I was having major teeth problems. I had very bad sensitivity. My enamel was breaking down. I broke a tooth just eating a salad. I bit the fork and I broke my tooth.
Hmm.
I went to the dentist. I went to a really, really expensive holistic dentist in New York, and she took an x-ray and she was horrified. And she was like, "What are you doing? What are you eating? What is going on? Because your teeth are horrible." And I was like, "I just eat fruit." And then of course, she's not a fruitarian. She's like, "Oh, it's the fruit." So I left the dentist office crying hysterically. I called my best friend. I didn't know what the hell to do because I'm a fruitarian pretty much, right? I'm raw vegan for life. I can't give up eating fruit. What the hell am I going to eat? I'm thinking, is it the oranges? Is it because I live in New York and everything's not local? And what, is everything unripe? So I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I'm messaging all the people I know that know more than me. So you're one of them. You have a lot of knowledge. And I was like, Ronnie, can you help me? I don't know what to do. My teeth are really bad right now. The enamel's really soft and I'm having a lot of pain. So you are the only person that recommended I give up dried fruit. You asked me, do I eat dried fruit? And I was eating dates like it was my job. Okay. I'm talking about, I would eat maybe 50 dates a day, maybe more. Cause I'm just like
50? 50?
50.
Wow.
Easy, because I'm living in New York, first of all. You can't always get good, high quality fruit. So I would order dates from 7hotdates.com.
Uh-huh.
I would order them by the case, by the, big boxes. And I would just eat them all day. Gooey dates, really delicious. And, especially at work, they're really easy to eat and whatever. So I was eating a lot of dried mango and dried bananas and a lot of dried fruit, mangoes, dates, and bananas. And you told me to stop. And I was like, okay, I can handle that. I can handle giving that up. I can't give up fruit, but I can handle giving up dried fruit. So I did. And after only a week, all the pain went away after 1 week. And then I went a whole year and I was convinced. I was like, oh my God, this is it. So I went a whole year without eating any dates at all. I put them in dressings. I blended them up in salad dressings or in smoothies, but I never ate a date. And then last year, I got a little lazy and I started eating dates again sometimes because I really like them. But you're reminding me that I cannot do that because dried fruit, you were right. What happens is it stays, especially if you don't floss or brush afterwards, which I never did. I brush in the morning and at night. And for years, I was eating them and it was sitting on my teeth and the bacteria was eating away at my enamel. So it's very sticky. It's not natural, especially dried mangoes. That's candy. We have to treat it like it is.
Yeah.
Dates and dried mangoes and bananas, these are not staple foods. I don't recommend it unless you're blending them up, unless you're blending those dates into Datorade or whatever. And I really thank you so much for that advice, Ronnie, because you saved my teeth. I can't go back, right? Like you can't ever grow new teeth, but at least I stopped the damage. And I have a lot of holes in my teeth from the enamel being bad and grinding my teeth at night and it being so soft, my enamel.
Yeah.
But at least I stopped the deterioration. So
Yeah, I'm really glad you did that. It's really like it's one of those things that is there's a lot of people that have went away from this diet because of that one thing because they just and even now the other day I literally don't ever have dates, but I had some and I was experimenting with some little recipes and stuff. So I was trying some dates, and within a couple of dates, I was starting to feel pain.
Wow.
Like with it, and I've not had them in like years, basically. So yeah, they're so. It's such a shame to me that we were both kind of inspired by Durian Rider and Freely, and they had a huge message of like eat as many dates as you like, and I'm just like the amount of teeth damage that happened because of that is massive, and and no one is saying like the opposite message enough. Like they all like so people will say, well, you might get teeth issues because of minerals, but it's all nothing to do with that as far as I can see. And unripe fruit is like it's the dried fruit is so damaging to teeth if people aren't like cleaning their mouth all the time after it. So
the number one mistake you can make as a raw vegan is to eat a lot of dried fruit and especially not, floss and rinse and brush your teeth afterwards. I would just stay away from it as much as possible. Have it once in a while as a treat, like once in a while I'll have dried jackfruit once in a while because it's just so different and it's just, can't. But listen, really stay away from that stuff.
Yeah,
because
you can blend it like you were saying. You can blend it. I mean, I love adding dates to salad dressings to anything like almost anything tastes a little bit better. But I wouldn't. I would like if I was to start eating dates the way I used to, I would have no teeth within like 6 months or a year or something. Like,
And that's the other thing you just said. Listen, if you have a problem on the diet, if you have a problem living a healthy lifestyle, reach out to somebody who's doing it. Reach out to Ronnie. He has a lot of knowledge and experience, and he can help you find a solution. The problem is not the diet. The problem is something you're doing that is that
What
is
did, what
it's
did
within the
yeah?
diet.
What did other people tell you? Like when you were asking other people, what did they say?
Ridiculous. Well, me personally, I only asked people that I really trusted, like
Yeah.
you. And I asked, I messaged like Anne. Uh, she told me the same thing, Anne Osborne. Yeah, she got back to me and told me, it's something that you're doing. What are you eating? And we went through it. Most people that I told this problem to, like in real life, my friends and family, of course, they were like, oh, it's definitely the fruit. It's definitely, the fruit. You got to start eating cooked food. You got to start eating a little rice. You got to start they blamed the fruit and I was confused and I was like, wait, is it the fruit? I don't know because like I just how could this be? I didn't even put the dates and the dried mangoes together.
Yeah.
But people are always I don't really take advice from people that aren't doing what I want to do. Okay? So if you don't have the life that I want and you don't have the success I want or you don't look like I want, I'm not going to take advice from you. So I don't take advice from anyone that isn't doing that. So that's why I took your advice and I forgot who else I reached out to, but I had a consultation with a few people and some people just they recommended I lay off citrus. They were saying the citrus was bad for my teeth. Some people say lemon juice. I was drinking lemon water too, but it was 100% the dates.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake people make is like the citrus and well, lots of foods they do um technically damage the enamel, but your teeth are designed to continue to grow back. Like they continually remineralize after every meal. So
Yes.
yes, you could strip off a very fine layer, but it regrows. Like that's the natural process of the teeth. So the problem with dried fruit is that it just keeps the acidity up for like hours and hours and hours after you've eaten, and the saliva can't come back in and remineralize and stuff. So
Yeah. The holistic doc, you just reminded me, the holistic dentist that I went to that it cost so much money for a consultation, she sent me away with mineral drops. I had to do these mineral drops every day, brush with them. And she told me to decrease the amount of fruit I was eating. And like, when that's all you eat.
yeah, yeah. So I went to different dentists for years because I was having problems, and then and gradually I was changing things. And then this one dentist was saying the pattern of damage you have is the same as like a person that like uh, has candies, but sits it in their mouth, sucks on them all day long. And I was
Mm,
like, well, I eat fruit. And he was like, it's not fruit. This is really interesting because he said it's not fruit. Fruit doesn't do that. And I said, what about dried fruit? And he went, yeah, dried fruit could. And I was just like, oh my God, that's it. Like, and it was like, how have I been missing this so long? Like, I need to just, and as soon as I cut the dates out, like, total change really quickly. Basically, I've never had a sensitive um, or pain or anything almost again, but I've already done so much damage that I'm like,
yeah.
it'll
But you're
never be back
reminding
to,
me, I got to talk about this more on social media because I forgot about it. I haven't had any teeth problems since I gave up the dried fruit. And if you see me in person, if we're hanging out and you give me a piece of dried mango, I will never touch it. I will
mm,
never touch it. The dates, it's hard because they're in my house all the time. Once in a while we'll have a date, but really dried mangoes, that was like the worst thing I was eating. And it's not even natural. The body
yeah,
doesn't even want it. Like all the water, all the valuable stuff has been taken out. It's really
yeah.
unhealthy.
So let's try and finish a little bit on social situations, maybe
Mm.
work situations, dating, maybe even like how has this affected your relationships with people around you, and how do you deal with all these kind of social interactions and stuff?
Well, I don't. I'm not a social person. I just hang out with my fruit, and so I don't have to worry about that. So, yeah. Next question.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, you always call yourself a weirdo online.
Okay. So the truth is that I'm not really friends with any raw vegans in my immediate circle. Um, I have inspired everybody in my life to go vegan, honestly. So I really only hang out with vegans. But almost everyone I know, I think, is a cooked vegan. Okay, so everybody eats junk food or cooked vegan food, and I don't care if you want to eat vegan, junk food or vegan fast food or whatever. Do you boo boo? But I'm not going to do that. Okay, as long as it's vegan, I'm cool with it. As far as being social, I have found that if you bring amazing fruit, everybody wants. So every time I go out to a restaurant, I always bring my own fruit. It's funny, I went to a vegan French restaurant back in New York before I left, and I brought some oranges and I ordered orange juice, and I was just like dipping my oranges in the orange juice and I was eating. So just if you bring your fruit, bring enough for people to try, because everybody always wants to try, and be yourself, and you will definitely attract people that are like you if that's what you want. Me personally, I don't need people in my life to be raw vegan because that's my own choice, right? So
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I live in a house with a vegan. My best friend is vegan, and she doesn't eat raw. We have lots of cooked vegan food in the house, and I don't care. I'm not attracted to it. It's not enticing to me at
Right.
all. Whatever you, as far as, being disciplined when you're out socially, whatever you eat, you're going to crave. So if you are eating a bite of cooked food here and a bite of cooked food there, you're going to crave it. You're going to fall off. You're going to be eating cooked food before you know it every day. Me personally, I don't eat any because I don't want it, because I never eat it, right? It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. I always keep enough fruit around. That's very, very important. If you don't have food to eat, you will be hungry and you will eat crap. You will eat cooked food or whatever you don't want to eat. So keep enough fruit around, and just be yourself, and people will be more attracted to you. Okay. So if you're scared to go vegan or raw vegan because your significant other isn't, then they're not the right person for you. Because I was in a relationship for, I think it was 6 years, with a vegan who was not raw. And it was totally fine. There was absolutely no problems. Absolutely no problems. If we went to a restaurant, it always had to have like some raw options, salads or whatever. Or you bring your own fruit. It's so simple. It's just, I don't know why people say it's so hard socially, because to me, it's the easiest thing in the world to be raw vegan. But I guess that's just my mindset, you know?
That's it. Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeanette. And for everyone that wants to follow Jeanette and stay in touch, you can go to fruitislife.store, Misfit Vegan on Instagram and YouTube. Come to the Woodstock Fruit Festival, the UK Fruit Fest, if that's happening this year. And any last words of advice or wisdom, Jeanette?
I would say, um,
Don't eat dates.
don't eat dates, and do it before you're ready, because you'll never be ready.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's a brilliant piece of advice. Just do it. Yeah. So thank you very much. If you want to keep on following or supporting the Love Fruit podcast, go to fruitfest.co.uk and you can join our newsletter to get updated about what's happening, and share the podcast with others if you think this might help someone, and give us help us out in some way if you like, or share it or do whatever you like. If you've got any questions, you can email info@fruitfest.co.uk. Thank you very much, Jeanette, and we'll see everyone in the next episode of the Love Fruit Podcast.